if you get hit by someone, if you're in a car wreck and you find out after the accident that they don't have liability insurance, they don't have car insurance. It's about 15 to 20% of the people out there in Arkansas are driving around without car insurance. And so it helps if you knew ahead of time or thought about it ahead of time and actually purchased something called uninsured motorist coverage, coverage. What that does, if you have that coverage, you get hit by someone who doesn't have insurance, they're at fault. They should be paying your damages, but they don't have insurance. Trying to collect money from someone who doesn't have insurance is like trying to chase the wind. So if you think about that ahead of time, purchase uninsured motorist coverage. It's cheap, it's really affordable, and it's actually required by law in Arkansas that all insurance companies who sell insurance provide that coverage, uninsured motorist coverage. It's cheap. You don't have to buy it, but you have to sign a written rejection saying you don't want it. It's that important. But if you don't have if you get hit by someone who doesn't have insurance, they're uninsured, you have uninsured motorist coverage, then your insurance company, that coverage steps into the shoes of the at-fault driver and actually pays your claim, your damages, just as if they were the at-fault driver's insurance company. Then your insurance company, your uninsured motorist coverage, will then, after they've settled the claim with you, try to collect their money back from the at-fault driver. It basically prevents you from having to collect that from the at-fault driver. So you've already taken care of that ahead of time.
I think so many people, when they're hit by an uninsured driver, it's like they've already dealt with an injury, they're dealing with property damage, and then it's this second betrayal. Because we all feel like, hey, I pay for insurance, I'm on the road, and then now I find out that the person that's hit me, that's wronged me, has wronged me in another way by not having coverage that's going to take care of me.
Didn't follow the rules like you did.
Exactly. And so I think there's an initial shock there, and there's an initial hesitation because of that to not use your insurance. And I tell people all the time, that's why you paid for it. This is the protection that you've provided yourself. And I think people are worried about the rates going up. And in Arkansas, if a wreck is not your fault and you're using your uninsured motorist coverage, they can't raise your rates for that sole purpose. And so I think it's really important to change the mindset when you have that situation, put that frustration behind, and make sure you're doing what you need to do in those moments, reporting the case to your insurance company, making sure they're taking care of your vehicle, and not, and mitigating your damages and not letting them increase due to your hesitation to use your own insurance company. And I think that's really important. And it's also, you got to take the mindset that, yes, this is your insurance company, yes, you paid premiums to them, but this is still a case against them, and so you need to make sure that you're doing everything right, because they're not just going to show up and say, hey, we want to write you a check, here's your damages, we're going to give it to you. You still have to properly build your case, and I think an attorney in that situation
knows how to do that.
Exactly, and it can really help you with that.
Yeah. And there's also, there's usually when you buy uninsured motorist coverage, there is a coverage called underinsured coverage, UIM coverage, dual coverage. You can buy that also. And for both of them, it's for property damage. So if you have your car damaged, but it's also for medical bills, pain and suffering, lost time from work. That's what it's covering in your claim. But underinsured coverage means if the driver that hit you that was at fault has insurance, but they don't have enough coverage limits to really pay your full damages. Let's say your case is worth $50,000, but they only have $25,000 in coverage. That their insurance company will never write a check for more than that amount for your injury case. And
same for property damage. If you're driving a car that's worth more than $25,000, you've got to have underinsured motorist coverage to make sure that your car is going to be properly handled when you get hit by somebody that only has minimum limits.
That's right. So when their insurance company, the at-fault driver's insurance company, pays your claim and they pay the full policy limits, or they offer the full policy limits, then you can turn to your insurance, underinsured motorist coverage, UIM coverage, and make a claim for the rest of your damages.
And if you don't do that in a timely manner, you end up waiving that coverage. And so many people get offered a policy limits offer, they accept it, and then they don't even realize that they've waived their UIM coverage.
Or that they even have a UIM claim because they haven't even thought about it. Right. That's another reason why they need an attorney to help navigate them through the system.
Yeah, I joke, if this all sounds complicated, then the first thing you need to do is call an attorney. Make sure you're looking at your coverages, your deck page, to make sure that you aren't missing potential recoveries here, especially when you're hit by somebody that doesn't have insurance and you're not immediately going to a liability carrier. I think so many people give up, and there are definitely other avenues, not just to fix your car, but to also still handle and take care of you bodily injury.
You know, and if the original question is, what do you do when someone doesn't have insurance? You know, one other thing an attorney does when they take a case is they look under all rocks, all possible ways to recover in a particular case. That person who doesn't have insurance may have been on the job, and their employer is actually responsible for their negligence. There are other ways that an attorney, an experienced personal injury attorney, can investigate to determine whether there are other ways for their client to actually recover.
If there are other coverages out there that they're not necessarily handing over to the police at the scene of the accident.
Excellent. And you don't know until you dig in and do an investigation, and it usually takes an attorney who really knows what they're doing to accomplish that. Hello, I'm Taylor King of Taylor King Law. Hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can ask us questions, reach out to us on our website. We always want to answer questions. We want to be on your side, by your side.